How's it going, everyone? For the last couple of decades, the premier professional wrestling video games have come from the WWE, but now we have a new style of pro wrestling game in AEW's Fight Forever, officially out tomorrow, but you can start playing it today if you buy the Elite Edition. Been playing it for a while. Thank you to THQ Nordic for providing me a copy of the game, but this is a wrestling game that I think, even if you're not a fan of wrestling games, if you haven't played one ever before, if you just like some arcadey fun gameplay, I think this game is gonna hit home for you. But with that being said, is this game worth your $60 or even more than that if you're trying to buy the Elite Edition? Let's talk about it. So at the heart of AEW Fight Forever, it is the gameplay. Very much different from your typical WWE 2K game, and I have to say, the gameplay is a blast. As I mentioned, it feels very arcadey, very easy to jump into, and a bit of a throwback to older wrestling games. Easy to pick up and play, but as you play more, you do know that there is a surprising level of depth to it, and the way you chain different moves together actually allows for some pretty cool combinations to be had in the game. As I have been continuing to play it, it seems like I'm always figuring out different things and different moves to use, and the characters and wrestlers themselves, they actually have some differences to them, and each character, obviously, they do have their similarities, but also have various nuances to them as well, which I think is a nice attention to detail. And with that, I think non-wrestling fans will find the gameplay enjoyable. Finishers themselves look great, signatures as well, and things like the replay cam, enhanced matches. Obviously, they needed to knock gameplay out of the park, because when you look at this game, it absolutely is not a visual home run. In comparison to the WWE 2K games, you can say it's going for a different style. The graphical fidelity isn't there, but is that really necessary when the gameplay is so much at focus? I don't think so, and even though the visuals are lackluster, the fact that they did knock it out of the park with the gameplay, I can let it slide a little bit, and with the arcadey and throwback feel, the visuals are fine. I'm not gonna say they're great, they're good even, but they're fine and they're acceptable. Gameplay, again, is at the heart, and it's trying to get you right in. The entrances are incredibly short and to the point. There's no commentary in the game, which honestly, I kind of like that, and rather, you have music playing in the background if you do want. There's a jukebox to customize the exact tracks that are playing, and there's a plethora of tracks, various theme songs, etc., etc., and you can disable the music altogether if you do want. Unfortunately, there is a lack of game modes here. You've got singles, which you can also do a lights out, no rules match, ladder match, tags, 3-ways, 4-ways, a battle royale mode, but probably the biggest highlight of the game, and the one people will certainly be talking about, is the absolutely insane exploding barbed wire death match. This is what we need more of in a wrestling game like this. Barbed wire around the ring that is exploding with a timer indicating a huge detonation damaging both players. This match is absolutely insane, and the chaotic feel can really work in a game like this, and it is so much fun. And I imagine when people get this game and they start playing it when their friends are over and they just see this exploding barbed wire deathmatch, that's gonna catch somebody's eye. It's a crazy mode, and we need a lot more of that in this game. If they can implement a few more match types like this, again, this one is so insane that I don't know how you can replicate the insanity. You gotta get a little creative with it, but this one is so great. It's so wacky, but I say that in the best way possible. If we can get more of that, we can have a game with so much more depth, and I think it'll be a lot more appealing. But what they have with that specific game type, because we've seen the other game modes, the battle royales, the ladder matches, exploding barbed wire deathmatch, is the absolute insanity that we need more of, and it works so well in this game. The roster itself has a decent bit of depth. There are omissions, but the majority of the big players are here. Unfortunately, the creator wrestler component, which has been a staple in so many wrestling games, in this one, it is incredibly bare bones, and that might be putting it lightly from a customization standpoint. The editing of the movesets, yeah, that has some depth to it, but the actual character customization, incredibly sparse, so that is a little bit of a bummer. There is a arena creation mode as well, so you can, mess around with that. You can also edit the various wrestlers that are in the game already, change their movesets, etc., etc. There's also the Road to the Elite mode, which is the game's single-player mode, which, again, is incredibly goofy, but in a great way. You can take one of the wrestlers on the roster or a created wrestler through the story and you'll go through various story arcs over the course of a year, but in reality, they say it's a year. It's like a 16-week stretch of gameplay. Throughout the various weeks, you'll do matches, you can go to the gym, you can go sightseeing, all with some wacky storylines and cutscenes attached. It's a bit of fun, but also pretty darn short. You can complete it in 4 to 5 hours, but there is some replayability here, and some of the scenes do play out differently, and also some of the dialogue's different based on the character that you're playing, which I found interesting. And again, you can take a custom character through the mode, and with a custom character, you can actually upgrade your various stats, get perks and things like that, and then those will carry on over into the main game if you do decide to go back and use that character in the regular game modes. In conclusion, there's a ton of fun to be had with AEW Fight Forever. The gameplay is a blast to play, and the arcadey feel is going to hit home with a lot of people. Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch is tremendous. Absolutely the highlight of the game for me, and one that if you don't know exactly what to do in the game and what mode to play, man, you can always go to Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch, and it is some chaotic fun that I think it's going to take a while for that to get old, but we need more match types like that. And the lack of content and depth is the biggest drawback. If you've been looking for an arcadey wrestling game, this will certainly fit the bill, but the lack of content is gonna push some people away. I would say, ultimately, probably for most people, wait until the deluxe edition goes on sale. That'll include the DLC content, or buy the game for $40 or less, because the lack of content, I feel like, is reflective of more so a $40 price tag rather than a $60 price tag. Fight Forever isn't looking to be a yearly release either, but they do have a foundation that they can absolutely build upon, and that is exciting for the future of what they put out in a couple of years, or what this game actually evolves into with DLC. Who knows if they're gonna add other game modes? That could be incredibly exciting. And if you have been looking for a more arcadey wrestling game, or just an arcadey fighting game, and the lack of content doesn't really push you away too much, and you just want to play it with friends and have a good time that way, at that point, spending the $60 I think might be something you want to look at. But if you are looking to get it a little bit cheaper, again, I think ultimately the lack of content is the biggest drawback here. But that's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Again, the Elite Edition is available today, the one-day early access, but the official release will be happening tomorrow if you're interested. But that'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.